we hear the clarion call, we hear the passion.
Yes.
You not only have you written the vision, but you've spoken and articulated the vision. You've made it plain to the hopeless, to the helpless, to the homeless. Let's zero in and hone in on one particular area of what appears to be hopeless for many people. That's in the area of sickness. And you've had certainly a serious manifestation. Pastor Wilson was talking about the difference in healing and miracles.
Yes.
Paul talks about in Acts 19 that God wrought special miracles through the hand of Paul. Unusual, extraordinary miracles.
Yes.
I think after hearing your testimony, you certainly qualify. Can you share more about that miracle that you've encountered and experienced?
Yes, I can. And that miracle began in 2008 that I wanted to just share a little about. Okay. The miracle started with before miracle even got here. Okay. I will say into 2 months of pregnancy, I began to hemorrhage so badly that with man it's impossible for someone to live after the hemorrhaging that was going on that particular night. That, but what the reason I wanted to bring it forth, because I want to make sure I let the world know what the doctor said.
Please do.
That night, and when I say softball size, the doctor came in and he said that basically my life and the baby life was in jeopardy, that and he could not continue to let me go too far. You know, he could not continue to let me go, and he would have to come back, but he would come back and check on me within a half hour. And he
so obviously you were in the middle of a pregnancy, and how far along were you?
Oh, about a little over 3 months of pregnancy. Let's see, in the pregnancy. And the doctor laughed and he said, all I can say is, be still. But little did he understand what he said at that very moment, because when he said, be still, even though we were, you know, I was at a point that, you know, what God wanted, I'm with it. But when he spoke and said, be still, I was reminded of his word. He said, be still and see the salvation of the Lord. Something just leaped in me at that very moment. And I began to lay there, and my husband began to pray over me at that particular night. He began to pray, but not only that he began to pray, he began to read the word out loud. He began to read the word, and the word of God is life. It was just life. And the more that he read, the peaceful that I got, it was just something about the word of God that it just sent me into a place of peace. And so I laid there knowing what he said. See, you know, just be still and see. The doctor didn't know what he was, you know, he was just, you know, all I can tell you is nothing else I can do or I can tell you to do. But I laid there, and about midnight, the hemorrhaging had stopped. But I had done so much hemorrhaging and that still they figured that in the process that the baby were still, you know, were gone that morning. So they got ready to do that procedure. And when they did the procedure, the baby had moved up into my right rib, and it had gotten as far as it possible could. And when they did the ultrasound, they said that the baby had moved so far up there that they were amazed. And the doctor said, well, only thing I can tell you had to be a divine intervention. The doctor said this. The doctor said
that.
The
doctor said that. Come on.
And when the doctor, I said, I know who the divine intervention. I know the orders of what God has done right now. And so that very moment is when she got her name, is right after that particular incident at that time that she got her name, Miracle. But little did we know that was just the beginning process of what God was doing. I had witnessed so many miracles of God. To be exact, just before that, I had just done a women conference. And that conference that I had done, it was Let Loose the Baggage. I remember that. You needed to, and I saw so many moves at the move of God in that service. But here now I was on the other end, that I had witnessed what God had done. I prayed and I believed God. I believe God, and it's seemingly so much easier when you're praying for others. And that you can lay hands on them with no doubt and no, and you know that they're going to receive it. And so I had watched God, do miracles. I had watched Him do this. But now there is a woman on the other side that needed the miracle to happen to her, that needed the miracle of God. And here I was at this very weak point, and I went through a very weak point at that point of just believing God that I'm going to come through this, and this is going to happen, and it happened. We went on, and I'm not going to tell the entire story because I do have a book.
And I want to get the meet up.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do have a book here. So I'm
pretty picture to the miracles of God, and I want to get too ahead of the condition there. But the part just enough. I'm gonna cover this up until you get right. There's another, but you about to unload on, but you about to download on.
Yes, download it. Yes, but she was born with Down syndrome.
That's what I meant, download.
Yes. She was born with Down syndrome, but and the very moment after having her, and that within probably about 5 to 10 minutes, that she stopped breathing, and we knew then that this was definitely God's order. This was,
You didn't say stop walking, stop eating, stop talking. You said stop what now?
She stopped breathing.
Oh, I just want to make sure I heard you.
Yes, she stopped breathing because we understood that everything that Satan could do, if he could sift this baby out, if he could just take her, because he understood that this baby wasn't just an ordinary baby. This baby was chosen by God. It was we're a little later. We have a 26-year-old. We have 5 babies. We have 5 beautiful kids. So God chose miracle.
Wow.
God chose miracle. So I was 42 and happy about it. Very excited, but yet in shock. But because God, we were made, we felt like Abraham and Sarah at that point. We were literally, we were,
right? About 30 years young, that's all right.
I had a 20-year-old, thinking that we settled pretty much, preparing, getting ready, for that middle age. And God said something different because, I was like, God, you must
Bishop
have
said
that.
not so.
Bishop said. It was definitely a surprise for both of us, but we understood that God had plans, and when I tell you plans for us and plans for her is what He had, because He knew that what He was doing, that this would not be.
How that plan started unfolding from that birth to all the way to where she is now. Let us hear about that Jeremiah 29:11.
Yes, I mean, when the start came from basically in the hospital. It started in the hospital of just the things that the doctors were amazed at. In the beginning process, even in ICU, of the things that she began doing that normally a Down syndrome baby takes a little bit more time of doing. Right. They already knew that this baby was different. They already knew that something, they knew that she was special. We knew that she was Downs. But at some point, they were still just a little surprised of the things that she was able, normally the muscle tone is very, they have a problem with muscle tone, of being able to suck and to be able to latch on. Right. Miracles start latching on very, very quickly. And things as even moving a little bit. And it was amazing from that. Yes. But as time went on, I mean, it was what the doctor said we did not, we read all the information that we needed to read, because we really didn't know anything about Down syndrome. We really didn't understand, because most time, you know, if you've not been faced with it, you don't pay attention to it.
Yes.
And really, truly, we hadn't been faced with it.
Yes.
But, and we started reading and finding out things of what they said. But in everything that we were reading, we really, truly just didn't accept the norm of what we were reading, because we expected God to do something more.
You were not denying not denying the reality. You just were denying the finality.
I know that's exactly.
Yes, okay.
That's exactly.
Yeah, yes.
Did not want everyone to be knowledgeable of what the situation is, but yet it's about your belief. It's about your faith. It's about where you and God are. It's about that relationship with God, because in every aspect, we did not at no point decide that we were going to limit God with miracle. We said, God, we want you to have your way, and as you have your way, we will make sure that we will put it forth to let everyone know that it was not about the diagnosis, it was about you.
Teach